The hot plates are switched on. The temperature of the water in the pan start to increase. When the temperature of the water is below 100, some water evaporate. At 100, the water start to boil. Pan A having a small area and pan B is having a large area. State and explain which pan has a greater rate of evaporation, and when the both pans are at the same temperature. So which one have a greater rate of evaporation? Pan B will have greater rate of evaporation, and why? Because it is having a large area, so more particles can escape. Apart from temperature at which it occurs, state how boiling differ from evaporation. So how boiling differ from evaporation? That boiling occur throughout the liquid, where evaporation occur at the surface only. And when the water is boiling, the thermal energy is supplied to the water at a rate of 920 watt. What is the meaning of 920 watt? It means 920 joules, because the meaning of watt is refers to how much energy is supplied every second. So this 920 watt means 920 joules every second. So explain the effect of on the molecule of supplying this thermal energy. So when the water is boiling and we are still supplying energy, so what happened to the energy which we are supplying to a water which is boiling? So the energy supplied is used to break the intermolecular forces or forces between the molecules, and change the state. So that is what happened whenever, like example, you are boiling a water. So if the question is what happened to the energy you are supplying to boil the water, so the energy supplied is used to break the force between the particle, so that molecules move away from each other and they changes the state. A test tube containing a solid wax. So we have a solid wax is heated by placing into a beaker of very hot water for several minutes. The solid wax become liquid. State in terms of molecule how solid differ from liquid. So how molecules of the solid different from molecules of the liquid? Molecules in the solid are having a regular arrangement, and molecules in the solid are tightly packed together. And molecules in the solid will have a strong force. Any two we have to write. So molecules in solid are tightly packed. That is one thing. And the molecules in the solid have strong force between them. Explain in terms of molecule why the thermal energy must be supplied for a solid to become liquid. It's a similar question. So the energy, whenever we need energy to change the state, so energy is needed to break the forces between the molecules, so they can move apart or move away from each other. In part C, you can see here a graph is there. When a solid wax when a liquid wax is cooled down. A test tube is removed from a hot water, so we have a liquid wax here. Here we have a liquid. The liquid is turning into a solid, and then we will have a solid. So the question is, state the freezing point, determine the melting or the freezing point. Is the same idea. So when solid is turning into, when a liquid turn into a solid, that's a freezing point, or solid turned into a liquid, that's a melting point. So how we work out, each box is representing 2. So this is 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, and it is between 56 and 58, so it is 57. So the melting temperature or the freezing temperature is 57. Another question, in an industrial process, a gas that is already at a high pressure is trapped in a large cylinder by a piston. Figure shows the variation of a pressure and the volume of this gas. Describe a relation shown by the graph between pressure and volume and explain this relation in terms of molecule. So what is the relation here? According to the graph, what it shows that the pressure and volume are inversely proportional to each other. So pressure of the gas is inversely proportional to volume. And how we explain this? When we have a small volume, the particles will have more collisions, which increase the pressure. So this is what happened, how the pressure and volume are inversely related. So basically from this graph we can say pressure and volume are inversely proportional. That is one mark. And if we have a small volume, the particle will have more collision, or it will increase the pressure. That will give you the remaining 2 marks. Then determine the volume occupied by a gas when it is released to atmosphere where the pressure is 0.1 megapascal. So whenever we relate pressure and volume, so why this graph is given? Because we have the formula P1 V1 equal P2 V2. We know P2, that P2 is 0.1 megapascal. What about P1 and V1? So we can use this graph. How we can use this graph? You can take any point. For example, I took this point. So the first pressure, this will be P1, and the volume at this pressure, that is known as V1. So this is 0 0.01, 0 0.02, 0 0.03, and 0 0.04. So this is a V1. V1 is equals to 0 0.0104, and P1 was 5 into 10 power 6. So P1 V1 equal P2 V2. So P1, why we have to use the graph here? Because there was no pressure. The first pressure and first volume was not given. But for the reference, they give you the graph. So using a graph, you can take any value. It's up to you. Any value you will take, you will get the same answer. It will make difference to the final answer. So example, I took P1 as 5. So it is 5 mega. Mega means 10 power 6. And the volume at this point is 0.04. P2 we know that is 0.1 mega, so 0.1 into 10 power 6, and V2 we don't know. So when we solve, it will be 5 into 10 power 6 multiplied by 0.04 divided by 0.1 into 10 power 6. This 10 power 6 will cancel, so 5 into 0.04 divided by 0.01. So this will give us the volume as 2. Is it clear? 2 meter cube. Is it clear, this question? Then an unused cylinder is compressed, it's filled with a compressed gas and into a cold warehouse where the temperature is low. How decreasing a temperature affect the motion of the molecules? So the motion or speed of the molecule, that will decrease, and what happened to the pressure, that will also decrease, because at high temperature more molecules collide, but at low temperature few molecules will collide. So these are some questions related to topic the matter and the gas law, the exercise 2. The next session we will do questions from thermometer and latent heat and specific latent heat. Any question related to the class today?